Do I answer it or not? May I be guided by me? Yes, thank you. We were in different parties, and then there was a merger. When merger came up, we agreed at the merger committee level that pending the time elections or congresses will hold, we should have harmonization committees. By harmonization is meant that leaders of each of the merging parties would constitute the acting or temporary executive of the party at the ward level, local government level, state level. I was the leader of CPC in Oyo State. When the list came out, my name was missing there. Of course, as somebody who believes he has a right, going by the decision of the merger committee, multi-party merger committee, I wrote petitions, 5 in all. They were not responded to. Because I said, look, I must represent my party. Because the decision of the merge party, the new APC, is that we should all be there. When no action was taken on it, your distinguished, may I be protected, distinguished. So I challenged my exclusion in court. As a lawyer, we don't resort to fisticuffs, we don't resort to violence, we don't resort to self-help. What we do is, if we have grievances which cannot be settled out of court, we go to court. So I went to court to ensure that my name was, relisted. In the process, our president sent one of our new nominees, Mr. Ocholi, to come and reconcile myself and the governor. And the assurance that we're giving is we would soon have congresses. So, for 2-3 months, just, tolerate what is happening. And I want to say this by way of digression. In several states where that type of thing happened, we even were expecting our president to speak on our behalf, but in his wisdom, he decided to let things lie low. Perhaps because he believed that there was a bigger prize that we could get. In any case, I will do the case on the intervention of Senior Advocate Ocholi. And then the Congress's guidelines came. When the guidelines came, they said people who are interested in positions should take forms and fill it, and then there will be contests in all the wards, in all the local governments, and in all at the state level. But then our governor, who is now my friend and my brother, I want to assure, gave out an instruction that he didn't want elections to hold. He wanted us to agree on, consensus. As a loyal party man who is also patriotic, we agreed. But a delegation from CPC then met with him to say that, again as at that time, because AMPP was also excluded from the harmonization committee list, they, in fact, in annoyance, left our party entirely. They left APC. Some went to Labour Party, some went to SDP, some went to ACORD. But as a loyal party man, I decided to stay on. So we went to the governor to say, now that AMPP had left, it remains only CPC and ACN. So please. There are other questions. Maybe I should. Mr. President has generously asked me to move on to the next question. The next question is about, as Attorney General, what reform into justice system would you undertake? Justice really is about our lives, because there's no sector of the Nigerian polity which does not rely one way or the other or is not affected one way or the other in the justice administration system. When I was Attorney General in Oyo State, I did two major things. Hitherto, when seminars and workshops are to be held, maybe in Lagos or in Abuja or overseas, they would nominate 2 or 3 lawyers to go and attend. But I felt that would not be productive enough. The same money that you will use to train 2-3 people overseas, you can use that same money to train the entire, law officers in the ministry. So I ensured that all those who engage in training or retraining of lawyers, particularly from different professional angles, were brought to Ibadan to, train and retrain, staff of my ministry. Apart from that, they were also given stipends as if they were going outside, and everybody was happy, and everybody, enjoyed and benefited from those, training and workshop programs. Number 2, I had a request from the civil servants asking that we buy about 5 new buses to take care of the different departments in the ministry. If we buy these buses, it will mean we will have additional expenditure of recruiting drivers and buying petrol, fuel regularly and maintaining those vehicles. So I felt that rather than buying, these 5 vehicles, why don't we do grants, evolve grants for all lawyers, so that not only would lawyers have a vehicle to take them from their offices to courts, they will also be able to come from their homes easily, from their homes to the ministry, and from the ministry to courts, and so on and so forth, and it makes it easier. So I recommended that each legal officer in the ministry should be given a car grant of 1 million naira, which was graciously approved by His Excellency Senator Rashidi Ladoja. And so we divided them. They were about 36 then. We divided them into 3 different groups, and we paid them 1 million naira. Of course, everybody was happy, and it improved productivity, greatly. By the grace of God, if I become Attorney General, I would seek to introduce these 2, very important, programs to the Ministry of Justice, so that we will have improvement in the quality of training that our legal officers have, and so on and so forth. Again, I would ensure, as part of the reform program, that every ministry and government department has a sitting lawyer within the ministry. A lot of ministries engage in all sorts of contracts, and because they don't have in-house lawyers, the interest of government is more often compromised. Again, by the grace of God, if I have the opportunity of being Attorney General, I will do this, apart from, the car grants. Again, I would ensure 2 specific areas. Number 1, the area of court congestion. There's no criminal prosecution where the Minister of Justice is not directly involved. So I would do the needful to ensure that adjournment of cases are drastically reduced. Again, there are prison congestion. This is another area that I would endeavor to evolve policies which will bring about, that. So these are some of the things. I was a member of the Hajj committee, and the question was asked, what reform would I bring about in ensuring that the type of disaster that occurred in Saudi Arabia, does not occur anymore. We all know very well that Nigeria does not have jurisdiction over Saudi Arabia, over any inch of Saudi land. So there's nothing that I can do, even as a member, because the fault really was that of the Saudi government. It was not the fault of the Nigerian officials. The last issue from our distinguished senator is that of Modakeke. Of course, I was in government then when it happened as a member of the House of Assembly. I don't come from Modakeke. Modakeke is not part of my current state. I didn't have any role to play in the Modakeke crisis. Distinguished Senator Goje asked a number of questions. You talked of the eve of the election when we came for screening.